Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 4 of Roll20 Presents The Burning Wheel. We're back. It's time for the hot circle. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
There we go. I was like, is everybody muted, or are we just celebrating silently?
No, I was muted and I had my hands in the air, so I couldn't unmute myself to say hello. That's all.
Well, hello,
That's all.
everybody.
Delayed hello.
I would
hello.
say that I've missed you, but I saw you like not that long ago.
I still miss you all.
Good friends would say that they miss us.
It hurts
Don't
in
tell
my
me,
heart.
Don't tell me you had a friend. Also, Dave, you're wearing tomorrow's goggles today. Save those goggles for tomorrow.
I know, I just got used to all the Canada trees and the America trees, and now that I'm back in the England trees, they're trying to kill me, and otherwise they'll keep rubbing my eyes. So I've just put on the biggest glasses I can find. Please forgive me.
Fantastic. Well, hi everybody. Blue Jay, your new haircut looks nice.
Thanks.
Looking swell.
It's all blue now again. It's more blue. Extra blue.
Re-blue.
Re-blue.
The rebluening.
So yeah, we were away at Go Play Northwest last week, which is why there was no episode. So thank you for coming on back for more Burning Wheel.
Hashtag worth.
And and if you were curious about what we were up to, you just keep an eye on things. I've got some videos coming to show these lovely people doing their thing. So,
although I believe you said it at one point, Adam. Like at one point during the weekend, all of us were like, "But Burning Wheel, though."
That's true. Yeah, we were like, "This is great and stuff. Like it's real fun and everything." But like, can we just go home and play Burning Wheel? So let's go home and play Burning Wheel.
Yeah, next year we should just stream Burning Wheel from
Go Play.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
So let's do the dance of the beginning of the show, and go through and remind ourselves of our beliefs, instincts, and traits. Joy, would you like?
I usually start. Let me kick it off.
Okay.
So tell me if any of these don't work because I changed some of my beliefs from last time. So I need to get back in the king's good graces. I'll show him that he needs me. I was born a slave, even free, I'm less than human. My worth is only what I can do for others. And I need a god to interpret my dreams. It's still in there.
Okay.
And then instincts are when anyone speaks of God, laugh. Always keep a knife where no one can see it and confront every boast with an ugly truth. Character traits are off-kilter, scapegoat. Die traits are broken, numb, and dreamer, and call-on traits are aura of innocence and keen taste. I also have the cultural character traits ashen, somber, and eldritch.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So for your beliefs, I need to get back in the king's good graces. I'll show him that he needs me. How? What would be a thing that you would do?
I will bring him the blackmail I have.
There you go. See, that's a good thing. So instead of maybe I'll show him that he needs me, you could say I'll bring him a gift of blackmail.
I'll bring him a gift of blackmail.
See, there you go. That gives you something to do this episode.
I'm not sure of the second one.
The second one, yeah.
I just didn't know what I was gonna put.
The first part is great.
Call to action.
Yeah, I was born a slave and even free, I'm less than human. The second bit, my only worth is what I can do for others.
It needs to be more specific. I know.
I mean, it can be something like, even free, I'm less than human. I will prove my worth by. There's some overlap with the king in the first one.
Okay,
You can find another ally, right?
I got it.
Like you can
I'll figure it out. I'll come up with something while everybody goes through there.
Okay. And I need Agatha to interpret my dreams. What will you do to make that happen?
Yeah, I mean that's the conflict, right? I've got two beliefs that are running at cross purposes right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll figure it while everybody else goes through.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Agatha, how about you?
So my beliefs are, I must ensure my position at court is secure. I'll find the cause of this winter curse for the king. With Hex and Cauldron, I will give Elisandra and the Fool a reminder of the power of the old way.
Damn.
And the death of God and end of the oppression of being mine, blah, 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 reconnect with Covens.
Yes. Okay.
I'm finally going to do that this episode, I swear. Always speak truth to power, never put something back in the wrong place, never let a trespass go unpunished, are my instincts. And then always in the way, well-traveled, spooky, inscrutable, respectful of women, lupine, reclusive, misunderstood, fey-blood, blind, gifted, spirit familiar, essence of earth, forked tongue are all my traits.
Excellent. Good stuff. Obviously, the big hotness of this session is going to be with Hex and Cauldron. I will give Alessandro the full reminder, the power of the old way. I don't know how that's going to shake out, but I'm super excited about it. Can't wait to scrut that action.
Am not excited. We will see.
All right, Lady Alessandra Corvide.
My first belief is the queen has to go. I will convince the king that she is unsuited or unworthy. I've been thinking about ways to make that happen. The second one is Reza is going to be a problem sooner rather than later. I'll find someone suitable to distract him. We have rolled up a person. I just have to take action on it. Agatha has treasonous thoughts that she must not speak aloud. I will convince her not to voice them again.
Okay.
And then my instincts are when I meet someone new, ingratiate myself to them, always redirect violence away from my person, and whenever I'm alone, sing to myself. My character traits are your lordship, ambitious, well-dressed, independent, cosmopolitan, raven-haired, mark of privilege, and rapier wit.
Excellent. I'm very excited about all of those. All right. And Brother Miro, what are your beliefs, instincts, and traits, please?
Yeah. Okay. So my beliefs are that the king's faith is being corrupted by the witch Agatha. I will determine if her influence is misguided or true heresy. My new one for this week is the third one. Actually, I want to go to that after. I don't want to read things out of order. I got confused. The souls of my people are in jeopardy, but I cannot save them without being able to speak to their hearts. I must find a way to make them understand me. The new one is Father Robillard is the key to interpreting the angel's will. I will speak to the Lady Alessandra on his behalf. And my zealot belief is God is dead. I will bring him back. I will learn who holds the secrets of rebirth. Instinct. Always challenge blasphemy. Always have a religious aphorism on hand. And never ignore a potential sign of the angel's holy machinations. And then there are a bunch of traits like demented, mad, tall, violent, pious, tough, believer, faithful, gifted, taunch invested, and zealot.
Your trait list is the rooster in this series. Like every time I hear it, I'm just like, oh boy, what a train wreck this guy is.
I can't wait to play some of these today because I have a great idea for how best to convince Lady Alessandra.
Excellent. Well, you're all bathing in fate. So let's see if we can't find an opportunity to use some of it up, huh? So I think that today's episode begins in the one of the few rooms in the castle that belongs to the queen. In so much as like the king can go anywhere he likes, but the queen has some places in the castle that she considers to be her own. And in this room, we find our queen currently in repose. Her Royal Highness Sophia Catalan Cedrus of House Larix, sitting quietly in a reasonably nicely appointed room. Now, unlike most of the castle, which is covered in sort of dark green tapestries, harsh gray stone, hunting trophies, objects of war, the queen's, I guess, like, it's not a sewing room, but it's like a quiet place that she goes, is appointed somewhat more delicately. There are shelves on the walls holding many volumes of books. There is, of course, a fireplace, as there is in basically every room that anyone wants to occupy in here. It's late day, so there are lit candles, but there's also sort of steely gray light coming in from a window high above, and through it we can see the now ever-present drifting of big fat white snowflakes outside. The window itself, I think, is not stained glass, but it has that kind of melted metal like tracery on it in a vaguely sort of religious looking shape. And I think that the queen is sitting in a chair. There's other chairs sitting around this circle, but they're empty currently. And she's a little table next to her. Then on it a sewing kit, and she's doing like needlepoint or something. Like what's it? It's the one with the wooden the like wooden frame. You stretch a thing over it, and you put
embroidery.
Embroidery, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
She knows more about it than I do, but I have to play.
Sure.
The NPC knows more about it than me.
If I recall correctly, embroidery is if it's you embroider things that have some other purpose, whereas like cross stitch or needlepoint would be to make a picture by stitching threads onto a piece of cloth.
Okay. Yeah, it would be the latter. She's not embroidering like a couch cushion or something. She's making something by colored thread through. It's like, yeah, cross stitch. Yeah. Anyway, so she's sitting doing that. Next to her on the table is I don't know, do we feel like, is tea an anachronism that we're not interested in? Like,
it wouldn't be like Earl Grey tea.
No.
Yeah.
It's like a herbal tea.
Yeah.
You could totally have herbal tea.
I mean, hasn't Agata been furnishing the queen with some kind of drink?
We've established that there is a reliance on what the blah blah blah. What's it called? Like apothecary. So it makes sense that they'd have like herbal tinctures and stuff like that. That would like for healthy stuff.
So there's a cup, a clay cup of tea. Yeah, like fennel, nettle, or thistle tea. Yeah, exactly. And it's sitting next to her, and there's a faint wafting of steam. And yeah, she's sitting quietly, just doing her craft. When a servant opens the door and sort of obsequiously bows to her and says, "What do we call the queen? We know the king is your majesty."
I feel like it's the same.
I feel like the king.
Isn't that usually like Royal Highness or something?
Let's see. Title for the queen.
I still feel like it's Majesty.
Let's see.
There's a difference between
I think it's Her Royal Highness.
Yeah.
I think you might be right.
There's a difference between like emperor and king and queen, and then there's probably a difference between like levels of king and queen as well.
Yeah, totally. My dude. Okay, so he bows and he says, he says, as you asked, your majesty, I brought for you the fool. And he opens the door and
I'm invoking an instinct.
Okay.
Before the scene happens.
Uh-huh.
Because I never let a trespass go unpunished. And I'm gonna curse this motherfucker right here.
Okay, you want to curse me before this happens? Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I love the idea of this kicking in like midway through the scene, right before she's about to like talk any of my business to the queen. But I am going to hex the fool with being mute.
Okay. Now, what you currently have retribution? You have retribution from 2 spirits, right?
Mm-hmm.
One is a spirit that is considering timing here. One was a spirit that's going to hinder you in time. So that spirit I might have that one mess with your shit here because you were saying you're interested in there being time. What was the other one? I actually need, now that I have a secondary screen, I can write these.
So the 2 spirits were the one to waylay the fool, and then the one to give me answers about the whole winter thing.
Okay, and do you remember the strength of the spirits?
The first one was like a 1 die. It was very low. And the second one I think was like a 2 die.
I think it was actually reversed. I think the first one was 2 and the second one was 1.
Yeah, they were neither of them very much.
Yeah, and what was the second one was a knowledge one.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Okay. Sure. So those spirits are waiting to get their payback on you. All right, let's have you let's have you go ahead and figure out how you want to do that. You're inflicting a trait, right? You're inflicting a mute trait.
Mm-hmm. And that's just a character trait. So it is not too incredibly difficult. Let me just double check the rules for
It
this.
is like physically limiting though, right? You're basically making her unable to speak.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's not
but-
insignificant. It's a character trait, which will start you at 2 for the art magic.
Yeah, but it's just a 1 point trait. So according to the rules, it is as easy as anything else. Which is, I don't know, quirk of the system, I guess.
Well, it depends on how long you want to inflict it, right? Like that's the thing. It's you're casting on a single target.
So it's +1
makes it so does it start at 0 or start at 1?
In this case, it starts at 0 because it's a character trait.
No,
Or no. Blah, 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 blah,
no,
blah.
it's 1 plus the trait point
plus one.
cost.
Yeah.
If it's a curse or detrimental effect, it's ob 2. So it's 2 plus the cost, so 3 plus 1 for an extra person, so 4. How long do you want it to last? I would say one test in this case would be like part of the conversation, like only when she tries to speak of your business.
And that's the one that I really want.
Yeah. Okay. So no additional business there.
I don't want this to be the like you can never talk thing. I just want this to be the like.
No, I mean that would be an extra 4 ob for that.
When you talk Agatha's business in front of people that shouldn't know it.
Okay. Well, how about this?
Like,
how long do you want that to last? Just the next conversation, or like the session, or the adventure, or the campaign? Because if you're not trying to make her mute all the time, you want to just not make her speak your secrets. Like, she can't speak of you. That would reduce that initial 1 by 1.
Yep. Okay.
So
I would take that and then make it for the session.
It drops down to 3, then it becomes 5 for the session.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down with that being what it is.
All right. So it's an ob 5 sorcery test.
Great.
I'm definitely gonna have the spirits hinder you here. The spirits, because there was a castle spirit, was the hindrance one.
Yeah.
And I think castle spirits feed on like gossip and dissent in the castle, right? Like these spirits like it when things are afoot and you're trying to prevent chaos. So I think it's gonna just hinder you by 1. So we'll just up the ob by 1 and then it'll be paid.
Cool. And of course I need to
Or rather,
name
no,
the
you know what?
spell.
You know what? Looking at it, it makes more sense to use the strength 1 instead of the strength 2 because that spirits of it's a knowledge related thing. It wants that knowledge to get out, and that's an ob penalty of 1, not 2.
Okay.
So you're at ob 6 total.
Ob 6, and so this spell's name.
Keep my name out your mouth.
Yeah, I mean it
Don't
is
start
my
no shit, won't be no
favorite
shit.
spell, but
Geoff John made up this spell for you.
for real. It's just called The Witch's Secrets.
Mm-hmm. I really like the idea that you like all of your spells so far have been very witchy. Like,
what's the failure for this?
We don't preset it. If you fail,
Okay,
then
all right.
magic goes awry.
Oh, magic! Yay!
It's magic. So
I love magic targeted at me.
yeah.
Okay, I'm rolling sorcery here. Let me just double check.
Consequences may be tax, hindrance, enmity and infamy, or unintended effect.
Where is sorcery in the book? There we go.
Oh my god, snitches get witches.
Yeah, it's true. So I'm definitely going to fork in astrology. And I don't think any of my other stuff applies. And I can't really fork most stuff for sorcery anyways, right?
Correct.
So yeah, I will fork astrology. I will spend a fate point, or sorry, persona point.
Okay.
So I'm down to 2 persona because I was at 3. And let's see here. So that's 1 mod.
Oh yeah,
well,
is everybody's
so-
fate and persona on the board the same amount they have on their sheet?
Mine is now.
Yes,
so
I heard yours.
Spend 1.
That's okay.
Mine's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so my base obstacle is 5.
No, 6 because of the
6.
spirits meddling.
Right. Okay, so away we go.
Oh boy, 2 successes. Well, you might as well spend fate.
I've got to roll my
Oh, I don't know if I'm happy or sad.
I've got to roll my blah 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 astrology die.
Oh shit.
It's a 1. So
Okay.
let's see how badly this goes.
Oh no! So now it's 1 success. You got to roll it again. Okay, so that one doesn't count. So it's
One
you're
success.
you're down to 1 success.
And let's see. And I can spend fate. Is it to reroll all? It's just 1 traitor per fate point, right?
I think you can use it once.
Yeah, you can
roll
only
a single traitor, which is not open-ended. Luck is purchased from this one. Cool. Yeah. I mean, may as well.
Yeah.
A fate
And
into
throw a
sorcery.
fate point at sorcery, and at a believe. So
Yeah. So rolling a d6. It's a 6. It's not open-ended though.
okay.
So I get 2 successes.
2 successes. So what was the original intent of the spell? That when Joy attempts to speak of you,
Yeah, that she can't.
no, I don't think it's gonna help you, but you did name the spell. Did you add the die for that?
Nope. So let me roll an extra die.
Okay.
It is not a success.
Okay, and you didn't say you were casting it carefully, so you don't get any extra shit for that.
Well, no, because initially I thought I was getting a complication based on time, so I didn't want to do the casting slowly thing.
But anyway, okay, so sorry, it was whenever she becomes mute whenever she attempts to speak of you at all or your secrets.
Of me at all.
Okay, all right. And how long was it supposed to last? The session?
The session.
Okay, Joy, you cannot tell a lie this entire session. It's just the powers of magic have unhinged the floodgates of your mouth, and now you can speak only truth.
Okay.
If you're trying to angle for falsehood, I'm really sorry. But hey, ugly truth, you can get some.
No, that's good. I can play with this totally, definitely.
Yeah. So the magic that the witch has enacted upon
That
you.
Daxo poison.
Yeah. So now you find your tongue loosening, and I don't know. I don't think you notice it. I don't think Joy.
No,
you'll notice
I
it when
mean,
you say something you don't mean to say. But
yeah.
All right.
I think at this point Joy has yet to like blurt anything that she wasn't intending.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I get escorted into the queen's nice chamber area.
So you come in and the servant bows, obviously not to you, and closes the door. And the queen sets her like needle point aside, and she looks up at you. And the queen is I think we decided she's foreign to this land. She came here, right?
Isn't her family? Isn't she related to the Fox house?
Yes, I think she might be a Vulpes, but she's not of the main line. She's of House Cedrus.
Yeah, she's a Cedrus.
Which I believe might actually know Cedrus. Oh no, you know what it is? She's not. She's related by marriage to Sorin and Tabitha. She's cousins to them. Cedrus is still part of the same house as Larix. This is she's lower than the king and was raised up by marrying him, but they're like third cousins or whatever. So Cedrus, I think House Cedrus is from a slightly more civilized part of the world. She's a little softer. She's not tall, pious, and violent, but she might still be tall, right? I think she has long like red hair. And she has it up in one of those sort of courtly, like, it's not a bun, but it's like very done up in braids, and then she has a sort of net over it with pearls. It's like a very dark brownish red, like auburn. And in the summer, she would have some freckles on the bridge of her nose, but she hasn't now. And she is she's wearing a green dress, and is sitting in the chair, and she gestures to a chair across from her, and she says, "Hello, Joy. Please."
Your Majesty, lovely pleasure as always to be in your presence. You want me to?
Is that true?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, I'm just going to ask this.
Please
no,
do.
that's
Yeah.
and that's fine. Please keep doing that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. So I like take two probably like far too long strides when I could have taken, like some regular sort of walking distance ones over to the chair that has been indicated, and like plop myself down in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I take it there's some kind of something that you need from me. The king told me to serve with the witch, so
she nods. She says, "No, Joy, you're not here to serve. I just wanted to talk to you."
I am happy to talk to you, she says, like with a weird, like, okay. Is there anything in particular that you?
She says, "I wanted to thank you. You've served this house well of late, and these are frightening times. I know that the king, that my husband appreciates your presence at his side, though he may not always show it."
I am always at your Majesty and His Majesty's call if you need me. I am a little concerned about how things are now with and Joy's like you can see her trying to like hold back words that are coming to the fore here into the conversation. Like usually she would have like said something offhand or like rude by now,
Yeah.
but she just hasn't, and now she's in a stream of like almost truth but why sort of looking stuff going on. A little concerned about the way things are going at the moment. The king having sent me away from him and such. I serve best when I can remain close, and so I'm hoping that he'll take me back soon.
Of course. The king is a strong but sometimes somber man, and well, he often pushes away those who are close to him when he worries. Something about the way his family is. Rest assured, you have worth here, Joy. There are those who appreciate your presence more than you can know. I want you to know this. It's important to me.
Well, Your Majesty, I am flattered. I am but a humble fool.
Are you, though?
I am but a servant to your house and the king's house, of course. And anything that you need from me, I would happily prostrate myself against the floor to
who else
give
do
you.
Serve? Who else do you serve?
And I fall out of the chair, sort of like, in a dramatic sort of falling to the floor fashion.
So she laughs, like she thinks you're doing a goof, and she kind of like puts her hand over her mouth, and she says, "Get up, silly. You're not here to perform for me. I just wanted to talk. Sit down." And she kind of like, she doesn't want to get up and touch you, but she's just kind of like, cut it out.
I'm like still lying against the floor, and it's just the like head pop up, like, from flat, and then sort of a spring up to my feet again and flop back into the chair.
Mm-hmm. So she says, "You see and hear much in the castle."
"I've seen and heard a great many things in my time here. Yes."
She nods. "And I know that while the king has his spy master, it's important for me to know the kinds of things that occur in these halls as well. The king can't be troubled with the arguing of nobles, but it matters to me that I keep those in my house together, working in order for the good of the kingdom. I was wondering..."
So there is something I can do for you then.
She smiles. Only if you think you can. I was wondering. I've seen you once or twice in conversation with the Lady Corvidae. You know of whom I speak?
Yes, I am very familiar with her. Certainly.
And she nods and she says, "What? I will admit that she is something of an enigma to me. I have once or twice tried to befriend her, but to no avail. I fear I have slighted her in some way."
The Lady Corvidae and yourself have a great many things in common.
And she nods and smiles and puts her hand to her chest. "Yes, of course, that's what I thought. But still, she remains difficult. I understand that she has gone through a period of great mourning, and to raise a son with no..." And you can see when she thinks about, like, she has a son, and, like, her eyes tear up a little, and she kind of like wipes the tear away before she goes into like full on like getting upset, and puts it down. She
yes,
like, wipes at her eyes, and she says,
growing up without a father, very, very difficult time. Certainly.
She nods. "Would that I could become closer to her. I think that I could help. I have such empathy for the poor woman in my heart, but she remains cold to me. What think you of her, Joy?"
I think that the Lady Corvidae is a very smart and cunning individual. I think that she has a lot of ambition.
She nods. "A strong woman. Yes, I think so as well."
Joy is trying so hard to like work around the fact that she can only say true things.
So good.
She
You're
doesn't.
doing a great job. So
she doesn't want to like blurt out like she's fucking your husband.
Yeah.
Like
so she says to you when you say that, she says, "Yes, a strong, ambitious woman. I agree. She reminds me of my cousin that way. I fear I have much to learn from the both of them if I'm to survive at court much longer. But I had hoped to bridge this distance. What? Have you any insight on why she may be this way to me?"
Because of the many things that you have in common, I think that she perhaps may perceive you as sort of a threat or role model, as a woman in power. Joy's like almost like her, you can see her like tearing up and like wondering what the fuck is happening.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. And she, I think she, the two of you are sitting close enough together that she leans forward because she sees you feeling like uncomfortable. She takes...
Side note, is this off kilter enough for you?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the thing here is that she leans forward and she takes your hands, and she says, I am the queen. Yes, but my power is nothing to be feared. Calm yourself, Joy. You're in the presence of a friend.
Taking taking Joy's hands is interesting because, like, of course, there's the ashen skin and stuff, but her nails and like the tips of her fingers are like really black, as if she's had them in like ink. As is sort of like Stygian practice, but with like dyes and stuff. And it's like a holdover, you know?
That's really cool. So yeah, I mean, she doesn't seem to notice or care. She sees you feeling uncomfortable, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay. Like I know that you're scared because I'm the queen or whatever, but it's fine. Like we're alone, and there's nothing. You don't have to worry."
Of course, my queen. I'm not afraid of you.
She smiles. Good. That's good. I would hate to think that you were, or anyone was.
As far as I know.
She says, but the Lady Corvidae, I understand that at the court women might become jealous of one another. We're not equipped as men are to confront these things directly. Though, please, tell not the Lady Corvidae I said this. I would not wish to get in a duel with her. I imagine she's as dangerous with a sword as she is with her tongue.
Joy just like swallows hard as if like she can't say I won't tell her because she doesn't know if it's true yet or not.
Right.
And Joy knows how Lady Corvidae settles her disputes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has her women's ways of dealing with these things. And so she says to you, Joy, I know that you are here to speak the truth when no one else is able to. There is a truth that I would have you speak for me. Can you?
What truth could I speak for you, Your Majesty?
Can you go to the Lady Corvidae for me? Tell her of what we spoke, that I do not wish for there to be this space between us, this hostility. I want you to tell her that I do so wish for us to be friends. Can you do this for me?
Yes, of course. Of course I can. I can go and tell the Lady Elisandra that you wish to be her friend and that she should speak to you, maybe, perhaps. If that's not overstepping.
She shakes her head and she says, "No. In fact, if you would, I've had a thought." And she looks up and you can see the snow outside, and she says, "It pains my heart so to know that there are those in the city who are dying, hungry. Things have been so bad of late, and what with the announcement from the church, I thought it might be nice to invite some of the small folk to the castle to share in our good fortune for a night, a sort of feast to help lighten spirits. I was hoping that as a lady of means and of an estate of her own, that the Lady Corvidae might assist me in the planning and execution of this feast. Would you ask her for me? I fear she'll say no outright if I ask her myself, and I do not wish for it to be a royal decree.
Your Majesty, I can speak any words that you so command me to."
She says, Good then, Joy. If you have the Lady Corvidae's ear, then put into it
her ear, message. No. Tugging at the hem of her dress, perhaps.
And and she nods, and she says, I think that this shall serve several purposes, one of which I hope to be to ignite a spark of friendship between myself and the Lady Corvidae.
Yes, of course. The fires of friendship burn and so on. Joy looks like really distracted, like she's trying very hard to figure out why she can't. Like,
so she notices and she says, "Joy, are you all right?"
If I may interject here.
Interject away.
What Joy is experiencing now is this taste of like earthy, like mossiness in her mouth. Anytime she tries to like say a lie, there's like this overwhelming like aroma of like peat and like damp earth in the dark corners of forests. Yeah, and like you feel like you might like barf
Like
up a bunch
vomit earth.
Yeah.
Okay. So she asks if I'm all right, Adam? Is that what I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a moment's hesitation, and then Joy says, "No, my queen, your majesty, I'm not all right. I'm feeling very strange. But that's not unusual. I am a strange person. I feel many strange things. I've been in many bad situations, and situations that are worse than bad. And things will improve, I'm sure, over time. Strange taste in my mouth.
If you're
By the way, I have keen taste. What does it taste like exactly?
Right.
It tastes exactly like the dark wood.
Okay.
Like some deep primeval corner of the dark wood has been scooped up in the hands of a witch and stuffed in under your tongue.
I can like taste your fingernail dirt in it as well. And
it's distinctly like, you know that Agatha has done this. I think you must.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So she says to you, well, if you are feeling unwell, I could speak with Agatha for you. Perhaps she could craft a poultice of some kind. I
have seen more than enough of our friend the witch recently.
Am I your friend?
No. Your friend the witch recently. Not a person that I think I want to be close to.
She kind of like blinks a little bit and looks at you and says, think you I have reason to mistrust the witch?
A lot of reason.
She looks at you and she says, but I don't understand. The witch has been making me. And she looks at the tea on her like her bedside table, or on the table, and she says, I have been taking Agatha's medicine for some months now, for my stomach condition. Joy, is there something that you know that I should about the witch? Is she dangerous?
Let it not be said by me, Your Majesty. I wish to bring the information directly before His Majesty, but I do not believe her to be trustworthy.
Why?
She spoke some things that sounded unkind.
So mere unkind words. She's a witch. What more? Pray, tell me.
Joy is like, I am in a corner. I can't get out of the corner. There's nothing I can do here. And
yeah, I think there's like this welling of the taste of earth in your mouth, like this overwhelming, like miasma of it.
I think she just vomits.
Yeah.
I think she just vomits onto the floor in front of this chair, like between her legs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happens. Like, she can't answer. Like, if she answers, she's screwed either way.
Should this be a steal test for Joy?
Definitely
not together. To speak at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's
I think you're right. It should be a steal test. Sure.
Like, if this were Apocalypse World, I'd be like, so you're acting under fire, or you're like trying to hold steady in Monster Heart, like I feel like there's
I think
chance that she could
and
slip
so this
up.
this is the difficulty here. How many successes did you get on the test, the sorcery test?
1 or 2. Yeah.
2. Okay, so we'll use the remaining magic you didn't harness. So call it ob 4. And I think if you succeed, you're able to force your body to like do something that isn't talk. Yeah. And if you fail, then you just
I have to speak.
Spout. Yeah.
All right, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So I have 2 steal, so there's like no way that I'm gonna succeed
Your
this.
2 successes, they can both be 6.
It's
I mean,
open-ended.
it's possible. Yeah. Hang on.
And just a
well,
reminder, Elf, that you can spend fate to reroll a single traitor as well. So if you get close, you might be able to get there.
No.
But of course not.
No.
So you're obviously
you're
racked. You're racked with pain.
So she's like sweating, basically. Like you can see it on her face that she has something she wants to say, but she's trying not to. And then eventually, like after the failed steel test, basically she goes, I heard her speaking treason. She spoke treason against His Majesty.
And the queen like just stares like quietly at you and raises an eyebrow, and she says, this is a very serious accusation.
Keep in mind that I am not to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh yeah, totally. She says this is a very serious accusation. Not a jibe to be made lightly, Joy.
I would not be telling you this, Your Majesty, were it not the truth.
And you would swear it before the king?
I wish to speak to the king. Yes.
She looks at you and she says, I don't think she's not going to take you to go see the king right now.
No.
I think
Your Majesty, I would hope that in saying this, you would not leave me in the service of that witch with her.
She nods, and she says, stay here. I will speak with my husband and have you removed from the witch's service. I will tell him what you told me, and together we will decide what to do.
I would hope that I would get to speak to His Majesty.
If my husband believes it worth speaking with you, you will speak with him.
Of course. I understand. I will sit in this very spot until you return. I would not chance running into... Oh, no, wait, you told me to speak to... I will say that I will sit here in this very spot and then be here when you return.
I don't think she picks up on the like difference, like your weird dissembling. Like she's already kind of like somewhere else. Like she's thinking about like what, like treason. This is like she doesn't know if she should believe you or, yeah. I want there to be a test here. Like, what do you're saying things that are true, but what do you want the queen to do here?
I want her to take me seriously, I think, is the thing that I want from her. Though mostly I didn't want to say anything. Now that I have, it has to be true. Otherwise, I'm at fault.
Right. Well, why don't we? I want you to try to persuade her then.
I can try and persuade her. Sure. I don't have persuade. So I guess it's will.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing
unless like ugly truth works here, like she is committing treason.
Yeah.
That's pretty ugly.
Hold on. The thing is, it's not convincing her of the truth.
Are you stripping the situation down to its core necessarily, right?
Yeah, it's more persuasion in that you're trying to get a specific response out of her than to get her to believe the thing that you're saying. It's more about you than the situation.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Convincing her to take you seriously rather than to believe what you're saying.
We'll call it a persuade then, but I don't have persuade. So what's persuade based on?
It is based on will.
It's based on will, so it's will at double ob, basically.
Yeah. So make a beginner's luck, like a will test.
Yeah. What's the ob here?
Her will is 3.
Persuade.
And you have to put in 3. Remember, it will auto double.
Yeah, put in 3, it'll double it for you. And let's talk about failure here. So If you succeed, your intent here is to convince her not to be like, the Joy was just goofing around, like that was just a lie. She's just being,
Yeah.
It was a bad joke, a joke in bad taste. In which case she'll go probably wander around a little bit, think about whether she should talk to you, think whether she talks to the king, and then if you fail, she'll come back and be like, you're dismissed. Like that's a joke in poor taste. But if you succeed, she'll take it to the king and be like, we need to deal with this. Agatha is saying some bad shit about you.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, where she's from, what are her racial traits? Like,
you don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if that would
cultural traits.
Yeah, because if it was someone from here, then they would be
knowing someone else's beliefs, instincts, or traits gives you a huge advantage over them. So I don't just hand those out for free.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what the aura reading skill is for.
Okay.
Being able to figure out that like the queen is vindictive would be a huge deal, right? Because it really helps you fuck with them.
Okay. So I'm gonna roll this thing. So it's 3, right? Op 3.
Op 3, yeah, and then it'll. You got 2 successes.
Yes, I'm gonna spend a fate to reroll successes.
Yeah, she succeeded on every die and got 2 6s.
And you got 2 successes that are 6s. Yeah.
Oh, fails.
Okay. All right. So it is a routine test. So you can mark 1 towards learning persuade.
Yep.
That was awesome. Good work. So
how many do I need to like learn a thing?
Oh yeah, no, it's 4 on 3, so it is a routine. It's a routine test.
You'll need 5 more.
Okay.
Because it's the base skill.
Exponent.
Yep. So you needed 6, and this one counts. So 5 more.
Cool. All right. Well, I don't convince her, I guess. None of that is going to be good for me. But...
Oh, no, you're right. 4 dice on 3 ob is a difficult test, so that does go towards will, not persuade.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, so I think what happens is, yeah, she says to you, she says, I'll think on what you've told me. And I think concerned, she leaves the room. Yeah, and you don't have to obviously like stay here, but we'll have a conversation with her again sometime later.
I mean, I do for a few moments, but then she's told me to talk to Lady Elisandra, so I said I would do it, and I told the truth, so I have to do it.
Right. Okay.
Basically compelled into my own action by my own words.
Yeah. Okay. So you yeah, we fade out on that. Brother Miro, let's see what you're getting up to, shall we? Where do we find you? We fade out on this scene and fade in elsewhere. Where are you at, Miro?
So as is Miro's way, when there's something difficult that he knows he has to do, he has ways of making them easier for himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's preparing himself to find and then speak to Lady Elisandra as well. But he's worried about how well it will go, just because he's not very good with people. And he knows that if Father Robillard, who is a much more charismatic and persuasive man than himself, could not convince her of her position as an unwed woman at court, he's going to need some help. Thankfully for him, he knows how to give himself advantage using magic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do some nice prep magic, I think.
Okay. All right. So where are you doing this? What's the...
Yeah, he's up in his little attic room in his uncle's house.
Mm-hmm.
This spell, I believe, is called something. It's an advantage spell, which is part of his art magic. So there's no increased thing. So it definitely have a name, and it's probably it's probably called like Divine Inspiration or something like that, because it's all based on faith. So he'd like to give himself a couple of advantage die. So advantage dice affect 2.
Okay, so
and
it
himself.
starts at ob 3.
Yes.
Self is no additional thing. How long would you like it to last?
Just one test.
A single test? Okay.
Yep.
Right.
So it's going to be ob 3, sorcery, and the skill that he's going to use is suasion.
Okay, so you're going to fill your lungs with the magical winds of heaven, so that it might honey your words and help you get what you want. Now, what does that look like when you cast this spell? Is it because you're up in the attic, right? And we've talked about this place being like pretty drafty to begin with, so you're almost outside. So we can see your breath in the air. The floor and stuff when you did that summoning originally has been like permanently like altered in some way. Like I think the floorboards have a thin layer of like black glass on them.
Yeah, and when he steps on them, there's like a weird everywhere else in the attic like creaks because it's all like old floorboards, but it kind of sounds a little bit like bells chiming when he steps on this glass stuff.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so I think to cast this particular spell, he has to kind of speak about what he's going to talk about, and like because it's cold at the moment, the way that it kind of manifests is he like speaks until there's a layer of frost on the window, and he begins like drawing like holy symbols and stuff on there to like underpin the spell. So yeah,
okay.
I'm gonna make a nice little sorcery test.
All right, so it's a sorcery test, ob 3, with the extra 1 die for naming the spell.
Yep. Modifier is 1. Arthur, not yet. Basil skill 3.
Uh-oh. That's only 1 success. You can spend a fate point to re-roll a traitor.
Yeah, because then that would be open-ended. It's worth doing, I suppose.
When you re-roll the traitor, it's not, but...
Oh, is it not?
Yeah.
I've got 10 fate.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Okay.
No, we've got 1 success.
Okay. Okay. Well, good stuff. You have definitely failed. So I think
to answer like people saying he can cast carefully, a lot of the time, very specifically, Myra doesn't do anything carefully.
Yes.
A bit too frantic, a bit too mad and demented. Like he gets an idea and he's just like, let's go.
Okay.
It might come up actually, but it was intentional.
All right. So I think that you feel a sudden like head rush, like standing too quickly. Your vision goes a little like white for a second. You kind of maybe see you stagger back and you put your hand out, and we see a close up of your hand as you bump a table, and the table rattles, and a jar of ink rolls off the table and hits the floor and spills ink onto the floor. You just feel faint for a second, and then you feel, we can hear maybe over the soundtrack like the whoom, 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 whoom of your like heart beating quickly, and we can see a vein on the side of your head throbbing. And you're swallowing hard and sweat beading on your forehead despite the cold, and you feel that pass, But as you do, you notice a tiny gray moth has alighted on your hand. Right, so you've put your hand down on the table and you didn't notice it there. You don't know where it came from, but there's just this little gray moth that's just like crawled up onto your finger and is just kind of like cleaning its forelegs.
Is it a sign from the angels?
Oh yes, it absolutely is. I'd like to consult my knowledge of their ways of dealing in Perelia, and see if this is truly a sign of some kind. Like, it probably isn't, but that's his it's his instinct, in fact.
Yes,
he will always check for Perelia.
Yeah. Now, do you already have an appointment to meet with? Can we retroactively say, do you have an appointment to meet with Alessandra?
Oh, I'm very happy for this to mess that up.
Alessandra, would you have what? I guess. Hold on. So you know what? Maybe Alessandra, you don't know about this. Maybe Reza hooked this up. Miro? What did you tell Reza was the reason that you needed to speak with Alessandra?
I have one that is clear to me as being the most obvious one, which is that you're need to talk to her about her matrimonial status.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
Because Reza would be so into that.
Yeah.
Because he wants to be the guy.
Yes. Yeah. So does that make sense to you, Miro?
Yeah, because I would likewise know that the marrying the brother's widow is like a thing in society. So yeah.
Is it?
I feel like we established
that, don't we? Didn't I have to establish whether that were the case with a court thing?
Yeah. If someone would like to make that roll to establish that that's the thing, that there is a history of marrying your dead brother's husband culturally. Miro, do you have an appropriate wise for that? Like, this is the thing a monk would know, right?
Yeah, you didn't quite say that right, Adam, but we all know what you mean.
Yeah,
your dead husband's brothers, friends, cousins, nephews, second uncle. Yeah, you know what I mean. You fucking know what I mean. Whatever the fuck
nephew's second uncle's boyfriend.
It says right here in the history book, if your husband dies, you gotta marry Reza. It's right here.
It's not that it must be done, but that it is a proper thing to be done. Your dead
noble
husband,
and just,
dead brother's
surely.
Husband. So I mean that works too. If your brother dies and you have to marry his husband. So yeah. I mean, do you have like marriage wise or wedding wise or widow wise?
I have religious doctrine.
And we did determine that doctrine was involved in marriage and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but religious doctrine
specifically
it needs a wise. So
it needs to be a wise.
Why don't we open a wise? Why don't we just open up a wise? What wise would you like to open here? Matrimony wise, marriage wise, legally binding love rituals wise.
It could be like local history or local traditions wise as well. It could be that this is a thing for Carpathia specifically.
I was gonna say, I
mean, you can conjure the spirits of the dead too. So like widow wise or widower wise are both like widow wise would be good because definitely like grieving widows have come to you to be like, please, I need to know what my husband would have wanted.
Oh shit!
Right, that's a thing Miro has probably done before. The sacred dead, right?
Oh, this gives me such a good idea. Yes, we'll go for widow wise with the view of using it to fuck things up in a little bit.
So all wises are based on perception, and I think the difficulty to establish, I don't know, what do we think the ob for this is? Difficulty to establish that traditionally you get first dibs if you're the sibling of you should be taken seriously first. It's kind of
you have right of first refusal.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I think in this civilization, I think it's like ob 1, maybe 2 to establish this fact.
Well, let's look at, is there a section on wises?
No, there isn't.
Because it would be nice. Okay, so here we go. Does it list? Okay, so ob 1, an interesting fact. Ob 2, details. Ob 3, uncommon knowledge. Ob 4, rare goods. Ob 5, bizarre.
It's definitely common
Yeah, I think this is a 1.
Yeah, it feels like a 1.
Okay, so you don't have Widow Eyes yet. So this will be trying to open it, so it'll end up being Ob 2 Perception for you.
Yep.
And Perception is already open-ended, right?
Oh,
I think.
I don't know.
Can you use a fate point?
Yes. Oh, yeah,
Dave,
totally.
Dave can spend a fate point.
Yeah,
here. It's not
spend one of
open-ended,
your
but-
million trillion fate points.
Yeah, sick. All right, cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Adam, what you're thinking of is when you're rolling to like gather information,
Yes.
essentially, then
Yeah.
it is open-ended.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Another good session of Miro failing every single roll.
Okay. All right.
Nice.
So that means that it's not true in that way. What I'm going to say is that this was an old and now considered barbaric practice where in the early days, it wasn't about like right of first refusal. It was like, your shit is mine now, right? Like,
It's a very Viking funeral vibe.
If Reza had been in this situation, say 200 years ago, Lady Corvidae would have no say in the matter. She would belong to him already. Thankfully, you know, we've come a long way since then. But you know that the angle here, many a year ago, this wouldn't even be a question. She'd be wed already. That it would be Reza's legal right to take her.
Also, the estate wouldn't be mine even if I had a child, and probably the child would be his as well.
Things have changed, and maybe Reza. We don't know what Reza thinks of that, but Miro, you know that to be the case.
Yeah. So if we're just saying this was a thing that happened in the past, otherwise I'd angle to like try and read him to see whether this was the way that he wanted the conversation to go. But like it's done. It's fine.
I mean,
it's
Reza, we know about Reza that he has a deep respect for the way things used to be, right? Like he likes the idea of being like a warrior prince, and like he's kind of got this thing for the woodsman. He has a respect for the ways of old.
He has a thing for the woodsman, huh?
Oh yeah, who doesn't? The woodsman's so hot. Let's see. So men could take. I'm just making a note so I remember this later. You could take the wives of their dead brothers. You can stay in the family. You already said yes. You're married. You're marrying the whole family.
And also, to be clear, this isn't an old tradition of the people of the Dark Wood. This is an old tradition of the fucking colonizers. Because we don't truck with this nonsense.
Yes, yeah, this was definitely their jam. Cool. Okay. So either way, Miro, I think that there was, if we imagine like a flashback, like we did with Agatha, there was a situation in which you talked to Reza and was like, "Hey, I'm worried about your sister-in-law. Maybe I can talk to her for you. We need to get her wed. It's not good for her or for the kid or whatever." And there would not have been a role involved here because he would have just been like, yeah, good.
Yeah.
So he made an appointment. He told you like be at the house at this particular time. However, that time is you're unaware. Somewhere in the distance, church bells are ringing, announcing the time, and you are staring at a moth. So let's make an Imperalia test.
Love that shit.
Now, if you want to, this moth isn't going anywhere. You can do this carefully and get that extra die.
What ob is it going to be?
Let me take a look at Imperalia. Reading the will of the angels in the patterns and the wings of a moth. 3, 4.
Okay.
Let me 4.
Just because Burning Wheel's a game. I'm full on difficult and challenging tests on Imperalia, so I just need to see how much I need to buff myself here.
Okay.
We're gonna say ob 4.
It's ob 4, yeah. How many dice do you have?
I start with 3, so.
So 3 dice on 4. You need to get it down to let's see, ob 4.
Well, I need to go up to 6.
You need 6 dice. Yeah.
Okay. I'm prepared to take my time and fork in some stuff as well.
Sure. Yeah. You can fork in symbolism.
Symbology. Yep. That takes me up to 5. And obscure history. Can I look into religious history for things like this happening before? Are there any?
I don't know if let me take a look, because Imperalia specifically calls for it calls for doctrine, summoning, and any ritual type skill.
Okay, well I have doctrine.
Okay.
Or religious doctrine.
Yeah, doctrine.
Okay, so yeah, let's do a routine test of Imperalia.
Okay.
Modifiers of 3 because I'm taking my time.
Take your time forking 2 things. Yep, and it's against Ob 4.
Base of school 4.
Oh Jesus! Traitors every place.
Fucking best.
All right.
I can't even spend fate.
So
Cool.
you can tell me how Miro. This is a perfect response. So Miro, you can tell me how you respond to this in a short description, and keeping in mind this is an opportunity to use any and all of your traits. So you watch this moth crawl up onto your finger, and you stare into its wings for what feels like hours, trying to make out the pattern. And at first, it seems simply like a large gray moth. But as you stare into it, your eyes unblinking, tears welling in your eyes, you start to make out a pattern on the back of its wings, and we get this really close up, low depth of field, like narrow depth of field shot of the back of the moth. Like, this is our super expensive, like high focus macro camera, and its wings are closed, and we see them slowly fold open, and on the wings we can make out what wasn't clear before, but now that we're seeing through Miro's obsessed eyes, we can see them more clearly. On the back of each wing is a circular shape, as though a 5-spoked wheel were marked upon the back of the moth. And you don't need to make a religious doctrine test or any of that shit to know this is a symbol of the devil. This is a symbol of the dark powers of the abyss. This is a symbol of the deceiver
Apocalypse?
that stands in opposition to God. If anything, this insect is a messenger of darkness.
Hell
Okay.
moth.
Yeah.
He, like, it's on his finger.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out, yeah, it's on his right hand, and it's on, like, one of these two. It's probably on his, like, index finger. And he immediately, like, starts reaching behind him, trying not to disturb it. Like, grabs, like, the poker that he's been, like, having the fire in his room with, and just jams it down onto the thing on his hand.
Okay. All right. So let's make a test real quick.
Yeah.
I want to see if, I mean, you're trying to spear the thing, but obviously if you fail, it's like you get your hand too. So yeah.
It sounds like he really doesn't care about getting his hand.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you don't care, then this is you're accepting the risk to begin with. So yeah, okay. Let's have you just take a wound then.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Let's see. This is like a club. What's your power?
I'm just thinking, is this something that's worth rolling steel on? No, I have 6 steel.
I mean, if you take the injury, you got to roll steel anyway. So.
Okay. I have a power of 3.
Okay, so your power is 5 with this weapon. Oh, here we go. No, bed knob, spike nail. Your power is 4. Okay, so you take a B4 wound.
Sick.
All right. So we see you grab the red hot poker and like slam it down on your hand. And do we hear, like, do you cry out, or is that just the cut, like just the slam?
No, he has like the immediate, like, aphorism, which is dark thoughts on the wings of this despicable creature. With righteous fire, I return you to whence you came, or something, and just
Nice. Cool. All right.
There's something about, like, dark thoughts, dark wings, probably, like, somewhere there. So
excellent. All right, so you bang slam the thing down, and then we cut to break. So stick around. We'll be back with more weird magic and self mutilation maybe when we get back. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah.